Back in 2013, I had an out-of-body experience. I drank a lot and I smoked a lot of weed. This is really emotional for me to talk about. So if this is you, then this video is for you. I had been asking God to deliver me from alcohol and from bad relationships, and there were a lot of utterances I had spoken before me that I knew were God, that men and women of God were prophesying into my life, and it's not that I didn't listen, I just wasn't totally delivered, and my choices, my addictions were so great that I needed more than those utterances spoken into me. I had really been in the depths of prayer of, God, please deliver me from this weed. I don't want to smoke weed anymore. I want to live long. And I had tasted God in church and felt what he tasted like in my heart, and I wanted more of God in my life, and I just couldn't seem to put this weed down. Anyway, this night I had some friends come over, and these people, my old friends, I haven't talked to them since this has happened, and I grew up with this girl. They had this synthetic marijuana, and they didn't tell me that's what it was. All they said was, don't smoke it like weed. And in my mind, I'm like, what do you mean don't smoke weed like weed? I'm gonna smoke it like weed. And apparently you're not supposed to inhale this stuff. I took about 3 huge hits off of this stuff. I remember everything in my body shutting down, feeling completely paralyzed. I just knew what was happening. I remember falling to the ground, but as I was falling, I kind of fell on my friend. I yanked her hair a little bit as I was falling, and I remember her kind of shoving me into the vehicle, and that's all I remember as far as earth happened. But I know in the depths of my soul, I know in my heart, I know with all that I am, where I was and where I went. And I don't want anybody, even the worst person on the face of the earth, I would not want them to go to hell. And that's where I went. It felt like somebody took my soul and threw it into outer darkness. And I remember literally feeling that I became hell. I remember feeling like I was touched by every sin of the world. I knew where I was, and I couldn't speak. The fear was so great. You were literally paralyzed by fear. I couldn't move. I had no authority to move. It was as though I was glued to hell's surface. And my spirit kept saying, my conscience, everything around me kept saying, me in hell? But I'm a good person. And that's all that was happening, and I couldn't believe that I was in hell. There's been so many people, teenagers, die on this synthetic marijuana, and I pray with all that I am that they be released. If they did go to hell, I pray that they said a prayer of repentance before they took their last breath. I remember being surrounded by actual demons. They were speaking in a different language. I was not able to interpret what they were saying. I just remember I had no way out, no authority to run or anything. I thoroughly remember that I was literally going to be eaten by them. I'm not kidding, I'm not lying. That's the only thing I knew. And I've read up on other stories and other things happening to people when they've gone to hell, and they have said the same thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened to me. It felt as though I had been there for, I'm not kidding, a billion infinity years. And come to find out later on, I had only been out in my flesh for about 15 to 20 minutes. There's a lot of feelings that I can't like relive or okay, it's hard to say this. There's a lot of remembrance that I knew happened that was taken away from me now. I would think that if it was still there, I wouldn't be able to function in life. That's how much torment there is in hell. It's not a place for God's people. It's a place for Satan and his demons and his fallen angels. God did not create that place for people. And I wouldn't wish for anybody to go there.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.